I'm going to do is I'm going to actually be talking about a methodology that Alan and I have had in play for about 12 to 15 years, and it's actually a way of thinking. So today's really to kind of give you some ideas and help you apply it in your own individual ways. You know, some of you are sole practitioners and more involved in being on the front and making sure that sales happen for your organization. Other of you are just more influential as part of a whole infrastructure, whether you're in marketing or you're part of a larger engine and maybe you don't actually sell direct. But today's going to be a kind of a conversation about that. So I've brought just a few slides along to get us going. So you might be wondering, why do you have this picture of a couple of rivers? Well, this is the Ohio and the Mississippi River. And what most people don't realize, or maybe don't know, that these two rivers actually come together, and it's 4 miles before they mingle. So this is a point of convergence. So the rivers come together, and you can actually see that they travel alongside. Alan and I joke about the fish on either side. Who's that? There, you know, like when do they finally kind of come together? So the idea here is I want to introduce to you the idea of not either or. It's very easy to go through our life and think of things as either or. And what we're going to talk about today is what we call both and thinking. And both and thinking is what a business leader has to do to be able to embrace the diversity within their organization. Whether it's changing times and customer base, it's changing personnel, or perhaps there's a market demand that causes us to have to look at things differently. Some of you have said specializing today, so obviously you've made some decisions about where you need to go deep or where you feel like you have a niche or an expertise that's going to differentiate you amongst the audiences that you're trying to serve. So that both and thinking is what we're gonna put in play. Now, I say it's about 12, Alan thinks about 15 years that he actually developed the thinking framework, okay? That's what this is all based on that we're talking about today. And it's very simple. It's actually just looking and saying, I'm gonna take an XY graph and I'm gonna have the Y be my first view and my x-axis to be my second view. And I can really put anything that I want there on it. And it really allows me then to have multiple uses for this thinking framework. Today's application is going to be on sales, although I'm going to leave you one with that's a little bit different, just for food for thought. So if I have those two views, I now have a field of possibilities for where I could plot myself in essence, or where I could place myself within this field of possibilities. I have a track that I want to go to. I have a destination where I'm trying to get to, and therefore I can start with where I am today and I can begin to set a target for where I want to be. Now, the reason that this is so powerful for me with sales is that many times one of the most difficult things for us to do is to just get on the same page with regard to what are our possibilities and where do we want to go. And if you're talking to somebody who's got the science of sales, what are they asking you? What are your numbers? What did you close? What are the projections? What did we reach? How many did we hit? What was the lead gen campaign? What was the conversion, right? That's the science part of it. If you have the art part of it, they're saying, I feel like it went well. We had a full room. The audience was clapping. You know, these are the intangible ways that can be almost as important in many ways. So you can't really discount one or the other. The other thing is that there's performance, but there's also development. The people that were in the Olympics do an incredible amount of development mentally, physically, and spiritually to be able to perform. It's a both and. You cannot be a magnificent athlete without also having these other factors that contribute to performance.